That's stupid funny. Um, you are a lot. Hey, Saturday night. You are now tuned in live to the Meaningful Jackson Show. What's up? How you doing? I'm your host, Meaningful Jackson, the one and only. Damn, bro. It's already April 26th. These days of quarantine are flying by. Let me close this window. Whew, I ain't gonna lie to you, cuz I'm hella tired. I think at some point, Priscilla should be joining us. At least I think. But if not, we still gonna have a live show. And I'm gonna go through all my stuff like I normally do. We'll check in. We are live on YouTube right now, streaming, and we're also live on Track Talk Radio. So if you haven't ever had a chance to do so, you should listen to the radio station every now and again when I broadcast. I'm on there Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. There's actually some really good music that's getting played. So right now they're listening to some old freestyles by King Los. It's the Ransom freestyle. I don't know if you ever heard that, but you guys should go check that out. My man has bars for days. And then the record that follows that is going to be Craig Davis 7 Days, which is crazy. The playlist, like I put hip hop, rap, and R&B and mix it all together. But sometimes you get some nice vibes when you're listening to the radio station. But yeah, if you get a chance, check that out. Shout out to Sherry. Sherry's the CEO of Track Talk Radio. Hey, we need to have Sherry on the show again. It's been a few weeks since she's been on, so maybe we'll try to connect with her and have her on one of the shows this upcoming week or the next. So again, shout out to Sherry. Sherry, hope all is well. We over here doing the show, man. It's just gonna be a easy night, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a couple more songs that are gonna play, and then we're gonna go live on Track Talk. But man, let's get into what today's agenda is gonna be. So I don't do this anymore because I feel like my taste in shoes has upgraded. And I'm only saying it's upgraded because I'm just not a fan of wearing freaking combat boots everywhere I go, which is what I always kind of felt like Air Force Ones were. But we are going to get into who made this hot. Some people think it's Nelly. Some people think it's A$AP Rocky. I don't feel like I wore these shoes specifically because of any rapper. But I will say this. I did get them because I was trying to model some of my basketball game after Rasheed Wallace. I had a lot of pairs of the Rasheed Wallace Air Force Ones because them shits were fire. So for me, I think it's more Rasheed Wallace than Nelly or A$AP. But we're going to get into that because right now there's some debate going around because I guess there's a video that resurfaced of A$AP Rocky saying that he's the reason why people wear these shoes. And I'm honestly wondering if my man is on drugs. Because I feel like he has to know that that's not true, right? But anyway, we'll get into that. And then we'll also get into, because I know I have a lot of followers who are white, and there are some questions surrounding Black Air Force Ones. So I'm going to give you my best explanation of what I kind of mean when we make jokes with, Black Air Force Ones. I'm not going to say that this is how the Black community feels about it, or any community for that matter. I'm just saying when I see somebody with Black Air Force Ones, I feel like they probably just don't have anything to lose, and they're willing to do things that most other humans are not. So those are the times when you probably should cross and walk on the other side of the street, just for your own safety. We'll also get into the fact that on this date 25 years ago, that Friday premiered in the box office. It's a classic movie. Shout out to John Witherspoon, R.I.P. That was Pops. He ended up passing away fairly recently. But Ice Cube, Chris Tucker. There's all kinds of people in this movie. And I think this movie came out, it's in the obviously 90s, but 25 years ago. I remember the first time I watched this movie, my dad let me watch this one day when my mom was like out of town or something. My mom would never let me watch no stuff like this. And I just remember being a little kid, like on the floor in front of the bed, just dying laughing at how funny this movie was. And I think by the time By the time I was like 6 or 7 years old, I probably had every line of that movie memorized just because I thought it was so fun. I used to watch it every single day. But yeah, 25 years ago on this date, Friday hit the box office. That's pretty crazy. Classic movie. You should watch that. I know you guys have time because you're literally not doing anything right now. Hold on. Let's check this time on the music. Okay, we got about 45 seconds and I got to intro the show. But let's see. We're going to get into some janky ass Michigan State lawmaker. Of course, he gives a fake ass apology for wearing he has a face mask with a Confederate flag on it. I don't really give a shit about that, but I thought it was funny, so I'm gonna put it on there. We have some little sports updates, but mainly because it's kind of like drama type of shit, like gossipy type of bullshit, which I know people who watch this think is funny. But we all saw the video clip of old girl trying to take Buddy's phone out of his hand. So I'm going to talk about that because that shit has a funny twist to it. So let's intro the show real quick. Hey, what's crack-a-lacking, man? Thank you for tuning in live on Track Talk Radio. This is your man, Meemco Jackson, and you are tuned into the Meemco Jackson Show. We got a live show for you tonight. It is April 26th. Man, pretty soon it's gonna be May. I'm not very excited for May, but there is a chance that sports might start to pick up and things might start to open up. Maybe there's a chance I might be able to play some basketball in May, but I'm not holding my breath. But either way, man, I got a live show for you tonight. So thank you for tuning in. Like I said, we're here every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's the Meemco Jackson Show. And we're in season 2 of this, man. And this episode is called Zombie Mode because literally I feel like a zombie right now. You should also go follow the YouTube page because we are streaming live from YouTube. Like, subscribe, watch all the videos. Yes, some of them are hours long, but you have nothing else to do. Might as well watch this. I guess I can't really say that. A lot of people are still working and doing their thing, all that. But listen, man, I know you got a lot of downtime. Y'all ain't out and about hanging out with people doing a whole lot. So get on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, check the information that's listed in these video descriptions because it tells you how you can be eligible to win this $300 gift card. And then because I revised some of the rules to the gift card giveaway, I am now going to also have a second and third place winner. So the second place person will get a Meemco Jackson hoodie, and the third place winner will get a Meemco Jackson dad hat. It's going to be pretty cool. You will be the only 2 people who have merchandise. I won't even have it. So the first things ever made will be given to you. The goal is that I think I said I want to hit 200 subscribers, and I think there's a deadline on it. But as soon as we hit 200, then I'm going to do the giveaway. And so if you're first place, you're going to win a $300 gift card. It'll be like one of those little Visa ones or MasterCard ones you can use at any place, anywhere. So I'm literally just going to give you $300 in my own money, mainly because I don't want y'all to think I'm playing about it. And like I said, if we get to 200 subscribers and we do this drawing, I want somebody, either someone who's new or someone who's been rocking with us since the beginning. I want y'all to be able to have that. And like I said, more prizes to come. As the show grows, the prizes will grow as well. So we're going to look to do giveaways and do all kinds of stuff like this all the time. What else is there? I think that's all the announcements, man. Like I said, shout out to Sherry, CEO of Track Talk Radio, allowing us to be on, have this opportunity to use this platform. And we are lit. I guess what I'm going to do, before I dive into the show, I need to call Priscilla, make sure she's ready. I wanted to give her a little bit of time. So we'll do that real quick and we'll get her on. And then we'll get into it. Look at the light. All lighting up. There you go. I knew that motherfucker worked a little bit. Excuse my language. And if she don't pick up, we're just going to start.
Hello.
What's cracking, dog?
Hey, I'm definitely eating chocolate. As I said, I was going to be good.
What'd you say? You're doing what?
I said I'm eating chocolate.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just introing the show on Track Talk Radio and doing a couple of little announcements, and I was like, "Oh, it's time to call." So we'll dive into it, man. What's up? How's things going? How's your Sunday been? What'd you do this weekend?
I actually went out in the middle of the desert, and there's this big called Seven Magic Mountains, and it's just like these 30-foot tall rock statues that have been painted.
Oh, that's dope.
So we went and did that. We got out the house.
Hey.
We explored the desert. What'd you do?
Man, I've been in here playing video games, of course. Play some Uno, of course. Man, I don't know, man. I slept today. I took a nap for a little bit and then, ran errands and did stuff. I did go on some walks. I shot hoops yesterday. That was big. So tell me why I'm getting excited, right? I'm walking up to the park. I can see the goals. I'm like, oh yeah. Every step I get closer, like I'm about to hoop. I walk up to the first goal and they have like a thing inside of it with a lock on it. So niggas can't even shoot on the goal.
Wow.
And it's like a mile from the house. So at first when I pull up, I'm thinking like, no, I've walked all the way down here and this shit ain't even open. And I look down at the other end of it and they had the one goal open. And I guess they have them covered because they don't want anybody out there playing games, obviously, so they don't spread the virus and all that shit. But it was cool, man. There wasn't nobody out there, so I got some shots up, but it was kind of janky because the wind was kicking hella hard yesterday. So I couldn't really play the way I wanted to, but, it was nice to get out there. Sun was shining and shit, and, it was nice and relaxing, so it was cool. All right, I'm trying to think where I want to start. I want to start with something funny. So I thought this was hilarious. So did you see, and you didn't need to see the draft to see this, but did you see where one of the guys that got drafted was sitting next to his girl and then his phone started ringing and she grabbed it like she was going to answer it or whatever and he snatched it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I saw something funny this morning. I didn't know if it was true, but it made me laugh because there's an NBA athlete, and I guess he had left a comment on the post kind of making fun of the situation, and then there's some random stranger that like commented below him and was like, yo, isn't that your ex-girl? Like to the basketball player. Yeah. And then Buddy even took like their prom picture and put it up. And I thought that was funny because not only did he clown this young NBA player, shout out to Trae Young. Trae Young is his name. But this random stranger on the internet, that's how crazy this shit is now, literally played this dude out while he was trying to troll and make, like, I guess he was kind of making fun of this girl. They're probably exes for a reason, but I just thought that shit was so funny because it's like, obviously, the girl that y'all are with, she's been looking for an opportunity to make a come up. She was with the basketball player, that didn't work, and then she was shining on ESPN on NFL draft night. I mean, hey, shout out to her. Get your money how you can, I suppose. But yo, this don't look good for you. We used to call them cleat chasers, and there's actually a girl who like I'm cool with. She was one of my homies, and she was like a friend of our group, but we used to call her a cleat chaser because she always sounded like she was trying to like wrangle in like somebody who was trying to make it big, like. But people from our area they didn't really have it like that. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Some of these girls, I don't understand it. I know it's tough, but just go get a job. It's not worth it dealing with some of these dudes in the NFL. Not all the money's guaranteed anyway. So you're gonna actually have to put in years of time before you really start reaping those real benefits. I don't know if they realize that.
Did you cut out right now?
Oh no, I just stopped talking.
Oh.
It be doing that sometimes, like a delay, and the phone don't be working. All right, let me ask you this.
Like, hey, is he talking? I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no, you good. You jump in anytime you want. Let me ask you a question though. You ever want a pair of Air Force Ones? And did you have the black ones?
I have blocked the Air Force Ones. Okay, I was a Nelly fan back in the day.
Okay, so for you, Nelly is who kind of brought this to you, or maybe you knew about them before, but Nelly kind of popularized these shoes for you, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me that like this this ASAP Rocky guy, and I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, like we don't know him. ASAP Rocky, shout out to him, man. He's a dope rapper. He's actually a pretty good actor too. I mean, he's been in some movies I've seen him in. He doesn't do too bad of a job. So, guy with talent. But I think right now I'm questioning where his mental state is at because he seems to think he's the reason why Air Force Ones are popular.
I mean, what is that?
Yeah, like there's a whole Nelly had a whole song, fam. Like well before your time. He has the song. We know the song. We see when you hum the song to yourself. When you look upward, you see a vision of Nelly or a black man of like a silhouette of a black man with a band-aid on his face and a headband and shit. And then a big Air Force One comes and hits you in the head. Like we think that when we hear that freaking song, you know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be Nelly. So it's interesting to me that ASAP Rocky thinks that this is his doing. You know, it's funny. I'm looking at the document. I just put ASAP Rock. I ain't even give him the respect to put the Y on his name because he didn't deserve it for this comment.
I was reading it like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he didn't deserve to have his full name put on the agenda sheet because he said something that was crazy. But let me ask you this: did you you have a pair of all black Air Force Ones?
So I do not, but my son does.
Listen, you gotta put those away, man. Don't let him wear those, man. That's a gateway drug to criminal life, man. Black Air Force Ones, they'll turn you into a criminal quick.
I didn't even want to buy them, and he picked them out himself. Like he wanted them.
Oh no. Nah. Little man gonna be all right. I always think it's funny when we think about black Air Force Ones because the first thing most of us think of is just the joke that anybody wearing those is dangerous. Now, I say that it's a joke, but half the time when you see people pull up and they got creased up, kind of dusty, but all black Air Forces, fam, that's someone who has nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. I was saying earlier before I introed the show, man, if I see somebody with black Air Force Ones, I'll walk to the other side of the street. I don't got it for you today, bro. And I'm not in the mood to have to do nothing crazy or end up having to run. Actually, it's crazy. You know, out in Aurora, you know how Aurora be acting, where they got all the pros walking around the street and all these little wannabe pimps. All those little pimps out there wear black Air Force Ones.
Oh. Yo.
Yeah.
That's all you can think of now.
Exactly. I wonder if Nelly's responsible for the association of Air Force Ones and criminal hood. Do you think he takes credit for that?
No way. I feel like Nelly's sort of feminine.
What makes you think that?
I don't know. It's just a vibe. Like it's just an energy thing. I don't know.
You ever seen him on Real Husbands of Hollywood? That old show that Kevin Hart had on?
That bull crap. But
what'd you say?
I said I haven't watched that bull crap.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's probably one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life. That shit was stupid funny. But there are like Nelly's on the show, and there's definitely some times where I wouldn't go as far as to say like the feminine thing. I don't think it's that, but I think he knows that or he considers himself like pretty. Like you know what I'm saying? He's very like clean cut, everything, like always shine, like you know what I'm saying? Like it don't look like my man can take a day of being dusty. That's just like not in his wheelhouse. So I guess I kind of see that. Like I said, I don't know if I would say he's like more like feminine. I don't know if I would do that to him, but
you wouldn't go that far.
No, because I don't know. Like, I feel like as a man, I might kind of take that as a little bit offensive, but I don't think you're being offensive. But because I know what you mean. But like, you could definitely tell he's someone who's like always trying to be pretty. But then like, at the same time, I mean, no disrespect, he's light skinned. That's light skinned brothers are very concerned with being pretty. I don't blame them. I mean, listen, man, you gotta do what you got. You gotta know your strengths. Like if that's what you're relying on, you know, girls love that. You gotta make sure you're pretty all the time. I mean, girls do the same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah, no, hey Nelly, no shame, bro. That's how you've been getting money. Some of this is because of that. So do your thing, bro. Okay, let's get into one of these other topics. So we listen, if you're watching the show, Priscilla and I, it's Nelly, it's not ASAP Rocky. I don't know why my man thinks he's responsible for us wearing Air Force Ones. He might be responsible for people wearing the all black ones. Maybe I'll give him that. If there's a good and evil in this, Nelly did good. ASAP maybe is responsible for all these criminals wearing all blacks. I don't know. I'll give him
Nelly is those all white.
Yeah. So I was before the show came on, we were also talking about how today, 25 years ago on this date is when the movie Friday dropped. So I want you to tell me some of what your first impressions were when you saw that movie.
I love that movie. I've loved it since the day I saw it. I feel like that's a cult classic.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that you said that, because I think that is one of those movies that, like, if we had a time capsule of all the the best movies from different genres, that's a movie that has to go in there.
I agree with you with that.
Yeah. That's I think for me, that's like one of the first, like, besides House Party, because House Party is my favorite movie of all time, but Friday is one of the first movies I can remember, like that feeling when you're just like laughing hysterically, and like the pain that kind of is associated with that, because like you get going too hard and your ribs start hurting and shit like that. Like, that's one of the first times I can remember laughing like that, is when I watched that movie. And that for me is what tops it. I think like I was telling them, I think by the time I was like 6 years old, like I knew all the lines of the movie. I was like crazy obsessed with it, because I would watch it like every single day. We had it on a VHS. That's when VCRs were still popping. That was a dope ass movie. I mean, it still is dope. It's not was. But I know I heard they have a new one coming out soon. I hope that movie isn't bad, because I don't want that to ruin or leave like a bad mark on the franchise. That'd be bad news.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, do your thing, cuz. Anyway, listen, as we go on through the show, we're also going to get into, because we already talked about CD Lamb making his girlfriend look dumb. Or I don't know if that is his girlfriend. Some girl sitting next to him trying to touch his phone. Ladies, don't touch your man's phone. Don't touch anybody's phone. Nobody should be touching other people's phone. That shit is weird, because then y'all end up making yourselves look foolish. Don't worry, Priscilla, you all good. Priscilla's, busy doing the thing, running the household. So from time to time, we'll be doing breaks. So anyway, we're also going to talk about how we have people out here getting arrested for trying to settle social distancing disputes by themselves. This confuses me greatly. Why, in a time like this, are you okay with potentially putting your life on the line just to try to make someone feel bad for being outside? I don't understand why people are doing that. So I'm going to open this article real quick. This is the next thing I want to get in, because I thought this was funny how this lady out in Philadelphia, she ended up being arrested because she spit on somebody, because I guess they were arguing over the fact that people feel like they should have everybody at home. So let's see. Jacqueline McBride, she's 27 years old. She was taken into custody by police earlier this week for spitting on a customer and an employee's face at a high-end Italian supermarket. Alexis Danilo, who is one of the victims, said she was waiting in line to enter the market when a woman, who's McBride, approached her and got very close, breaking the 6-foot social distancing rule. Danilo took a few steps back, which she said angered the woman. She got really upset by that, and then she called her a bitch, said, "I don't have a disease." And then it says the lady proceeded to enter the store, ignoring McBride, But while she was picking out meat and cheese for her dinner at her parents', that's very specific. Hope dinner went well. At least you had good stories to tell. Said McBride intentionally ran into her. So I guess this lady already seemed like she was looking for a problem. And the weird thing is like, you also can't be the type of person who gets offended if people want to move away from you when you get close because of the time that we're in. Like, everybody's in a weird headspace. Just be respectful, smile at people, and leave it alone. So it then says the lady apparently got mad, said, "I'll fight you right now," and then proceeded to pull down the red bandana covering her mouth. Oh, and then she spit on her, so she even had her face covered. So then she pulled down her bandana and then she spit on her. A store manager who witnessed the event told on the lady basically, and then they confirmed that she was spitting on people. So she got charged with simple assault and terroristic threats. Oh my God, all for spitting on people. Now I'll tell you like this. She looks like she spits on people. You that might be a weird comment to make about a person, but she Priscilla is back, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, this Jacqueline McBride lady, she's straight out of Philadelphia. Apparently, Priscilla, if you didn't hear what I was talking about, she spit on this lady at the grocery store, all because when they first came in contact, when she came in, I guess she got a little close, and then the girl took a step back from her. And I guess she got offended by the fact that the girl moved away, and then she was like, called her the B word and said, "I don't have a damn disease," or whatever. I guess they continue on to go shopping, and then she came and found her and basically was like, "Yo, let's run hands real quick." The victim was like, "Nah, we're not here for all that." And I guess the girl got mad, pulled down her bandana because that's what she was wearing. She was wearing a red bandana, so she's, probably banging. She pulled that bandana down, and then, gang shit. She spit on the girl's face. So now
she went in.
Yeah, she went in all at this like high-end Italian supermarket. So, man, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like if someone spit on me in public now, I feel like based on our current situation, I should be able to stomp them out and not get in any trouble, because spitting and the spread of germs, that should be attempted murder. And I only need it to be that way. That way I can justify when I stomp out one of these strangers for spitting on me for no damn reason. Because there are people really out here acting up like this because they're feeling some type of way about social distancing. My whole philosophy on this is like, bro, go out, do what you got to do, be respectful of everybody's bubbles, get your stuff and go home. There are going to be some times and some spaces where you can't avoid it, but if you can avoid kind of being away from people and like, not getting too close, you can do all those things. Like, just do the right thing. That way you don't have to be upset, and then you don't have to piss other people off. Because I'm in the situation of the victim in this story. It's like, why is the girl getting mad that she took steps away from her? Like, when the whole thing, they're saying, keep 6 feet and be careful of spreading. Like, why would you be mad at somebody for wanting to protect themselves? Like, but because she's stressed out over things, of course, she's like taking offense to it. Like, and people are not in the right frame of mind to be interacting with other people right now, because then this type of shit is happening. Shit is crazy.
I was just about to say that. Like, now is not the time.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's on edge. Even when I go out, though, like, people are pissing me off more than they usually are. Like, I'm getting frustrated with pedestrians. I got a serious case of road rage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not on the road often, but my road rage seems like it's increased maybe 65 to 75%. And it was already on like 96%. I'm not a math whiz. I don't even know if that's even possible, but my road rage is through the roof. Steph is in the chat. Steph, welcome. Sorry, I'm just not looking at the chat. I'm not sure what her question is. Maybe she's talking to you, Priscilla. I don't know.
She did just text me a little bit ago.
Borrachini's? What is Borrachini's? I wonder if that's maybe the restaurant. I don't know. That sounds like the name of a high-end Italian restaurant. And this is perfect because Steph would know, because she's Italian mafia. So maybe she's connected to the supermarket. Maybe she can get us some good meats or something for the logo.
Oh wait, no. I don't know.
She probably talking about something else. Well, anyway, Steph, thanks for being in the chat. Welcome to the show. Hope you're enjoying it. But yeah, the social distancing thing is a bit weird. I mean, like today I was like on a walk and like, I had to go down some stairs that were outside. And it's like there's people walking up as I'm walking down. Like you can't help but be close. Like those are the times where you kind of just gotta brave that shit. But like it would have been really foul if someone would have got mad at me or I would have got mad at them for wanting to move to the side or move out of the way. Like I can't get offended by that. Like I know that I'm good, but I'm not going to be offended if someone is questioning that in that moment because they don't know me. I'm a complete stranger. Oh yeah, hey, that was the Italian market. I don't know if that's what the place was, Steph, but hey, good call on the name. But yeah, what would you do, Priscilla, if somebody spit on you for being at the supermarket?
Oh, I see. That's like the ultimate form of disrespect to me. Like we're throwing hands. I don't care. But I will say this though, like I've had people get irritated with me, say like the same situation you just mentioned, like there's really no other place for people to go.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to pass each other. And like some couple got really irritated with me because I have my kids and I'm like, I don't want my kids either. Like
yeah, I mean, in some situations, there's only so much that you can do. So it's like there's no point in like getting upset with one another. I mean, you're all it's dangerous. You don't know because you don't know everybody, but like, is it gonna do you any good to like get mad at every single person you encounter or something like that? Like, nah. Like, some people need to realize it really isn't that serious. Like, it's not worth it. Not worth it. But this Jacqueline McBride lady, like I said, she looks like a spitter and not in the good way. And is there any good way? I don't know. Yeah, but she just has this, even in her mugshot photo, she has this creepy look like, yeah, I'll spit on a bitch type of look. And when she did, so I'm not surprised. Let's see. Did you hear about the woman in Paraguay who woke up in a body bag?
I did. I didn't until you gave me the list, but I went and Googled it.
That is wild to me. Waking up in a body bag. What'd you say? Go ahead.
I said I feel like it doesn't surprise me though.
This is okay. So let me read this. So Gladys Rodriguez. Oh shit! I don't know the other part of her last name. Sorry, Gladys. I didn't mean to disrespect you, but Gladys is 46. She's from Paraguay and she suffers from ovarian cancer. Shout out to Gladys. Hope things are going well. Glad you're not actually dead. But she was mistakenly declared dead after being treated by a physician. Oh my God. 2 hours after being treated, she was declared dead of cervical cancer. The 46-year-old woman's husband and daughter were then handed a death certificate. So she had paperwork drawn up on her and everything. They transported her to the funeral home and then they noticed movement inside the bag. She was then rushed to intensive care where she is currently a delicate but stable condition. I didn't know they listed people as that. You're currently delicate but in stable condition. This is crazy.
That is pretty intense.
So I guess Gloria's husband, Maximino, that's such a filthy name. I love that. Maximino. My nigga's walking around probably with the biggest balls. Like, yo, who are you? I'm Maximino. Try it. He is sorry, my man's probably lit, but he filed a complaint against the doctor. Maybe that's how they do in Paraguay. They don't go right for the lawsuit. They go to complaint status first. He claims that they announced her passing on purpose because they no longer wanted to treat her. Jeez, that's a big claim, bro. That is a very big claim. I hope that is not true. Could you imagine your loved one being pronounced dead because the hospital is just tired of her? Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. But my thing is like she was just like taking a nap or something. Like you're just in the bag for 2 hours, and like they roll you to the funeral home. Like you didn't want. Like I wonder if what woke her up is that she was like in the back and they were driving and Buddy hit a bump and then she was like, oh shit, and then like woke up and then was like, why am I in a bag strapped to a freaking gurney and I'm moving? Like, could you imagine being the driver, open up that door and seeing one of those bags moving? Bro, I would run away from that truck so quick. That in that moment, you're thinking, this is the start of the apocalypse, and it's happening right next to me in this freaking van. There's zombies back here. And you know what's crazy? This episode, the show is called Zombie Mode. What are the chances? Could you imagine? Fuck, man, I need to see some zombies. But I don't want to get done up by a zombie. I want to just die a normal death. Like I want to eat too much candy or die on the toilet or something. I don't want to die at the hands of a zombie, you know, but I want to see some shit like that. Don't laugh, it ain't funny.
I feel like that's where we're headed though. Like I'm just waiting for it to like pop on mainstream media. Like, by the way.
Yeah, and just in case you're wondering, ladies and gentlemen, there might be zombies in your neighborhood. That should be crazy, man. She woke up in a body bag after being pronounced dead. Gladys, if you ever see this, stay alive for us. Don't, try not to end up back in that bag. She's in delicate but stable condition. So stable is good. Sending many good thoughts and vibes to Miss Gladys. Hope she's gonna be all right. And her husband Maximino, I hope he, settles out of court for $85 million. But that doctor must be terrible. Like, I mean, aren't there like tests that they do? Like, wouldn't you know she was dead? Like, she would have to have flatlined for you to just be like, oh yeah, she didn't make it. Now we're taking her to the morgue and shit like that. That all seems like it happened way too quick. Like, she pronounced dead, and then within 2 hours, there's a death certificate, and then she's already on the move to the funeral home. Like, they moved her that quick. Damn. What if this ends up being like some crazy crime documentary? This whole situation now seems suspicious.
I was just about to say, if she was at the funeral home within 2 hours, that does sound a little suspect.
That's quick, right?
That sounds super suspect because they usually have like the refrigerators at the hospital too.
Yeah, you take them to the morgue. The only reason I know that is because in like probably about 10 years ago, I worked in an ER back in Pensacola as a transporter. And like on the fourth day that I worked there, I had to help a guy transport a dead body down to the morgue. This guy, RIP, shout out to this dude. I don't know who he was, but bro, he probably was like 400 pounds to begin with. And when he was on the slab, we literally had to roll him downstairs and then put him in the freezer. So you don't just, I don't know, maybe things are different now depending on the facility. And obviously this is in a different country, but I can't imagine that like the doctor pronounces her dead. They put her in the cooler and then also take her to the morgue and have papers printed up on her all within 2 hours. Like that guy that I moved was sitting in that room for like a good little while. And then we moved him and he was in there for a couple of days before he got transported. That seems very quick. All in 2 hours? We should be investigators.
That does sound suspect.
Yeah, it sounds very suspect.
I don't know. That's not...
Yeah, they need to look into that. I don't know who we tell about that, but they got to look into that. Well, moving on. Gladys, obviously, she's not dead. I hope that she's doing okay because that's got to be a crazy nightmare where you wake up and then all of a sudden you're just in a bag. And then I'm sure when they told her what happened, that story's probably crazy as hell too. But hopefully the hospital's taking care of her. Hopefully she wins her lawsuit if they file one. Let me ask you something, Priscilla. Do you make TikTok videos?
Hell no, I'm too old for that shit.
Okay.
No, I do not.
See, Steph makes a good point about the last thing real quick. Sorry to interrupt. She said they were probably full. And I thought about that too. But it's still, the thing that seems quick about it is that if they are full, that would imply that they're busy. How would they get the death certificate and all that paperwork printed up? Because if there's a delay on moving the bodies, or if because you're full, you're having to move them quicker, one of these processes has to take a hit. So it would probably be the paperwork. But if they already had the paperwork drawn up and ready for her and then also had her transported, that seems suspicious. But you could be right. Maybe they did change their process due to Rona. But anyway, Priscilla, sorry about that. I just wanted to Steph's in the chat, and I got to keep looking at this. But tell us what you think about TikTok.
I mean, I guess it would be cool if I was like 13, 14. I don't really get it though. Like, I don't get how it's like entertaining at all.
I don't either. And the crazy thing is when you said 13 and 14, I feel like I only see adults making these. But this
I always see like little kids using it. But maybe that's because I have a lot of friends with kids that age who are like,
I thought
we're making a TikTok video.
Yeah, I thought it was a kid thing, but now I feel like I only see adults doing it. But I brought this up because I thought it was funny. I'm someone who thinks it's very funny when celebrities complain about being made fun of. But the weird thing is like their whole job is to literally be out in front of the world. So like their art, their projects, whatever it is that they work on, it's like as soon as it's produced and released to the internet, it's like it belongs to the world. It really doesn't belong to them. So I kind of question like, why do you spend time getting upset and then going online and complaining about the fact that you're being made fun of? Like that's just it's kind of what you sign up for, right? I mean, am I wrong to assume that like is that not a
No,
thing?
that's like the job description.
Yeah,
I don't understand it either.
So that's why I always think it's weird. So, and I have some questions about this girl, and maybe you can enlighten me. So, Ariana Grande. Doesn't Grande mean? What's venti? Is it grande? No, grande is large, right? So Ariana Large. That's her name. Is she a white girl who tans and then becomes black? Is that a thing? Why do I feel like I've heard that?
No, she's not. So you may be talking about the Bad Baby, whatever that little girl's name was.
Well, no, I know I'm definitely not talking about her because this TikTok thing is about Ariana Grande. But I want to say that a long time ago, I heard a story where they had posted like some picture and she looked like a small little redhead girl. But then like when she got famous, like she was like a black girl.
Oh, yeah.
So I just was asking. I didn't know if she actually was a black girl or if she was a small little white girl. It doesn't really matter.
She's definitely a white girl. She's from Florida.
Oh, she is white. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought she was a black girl.
She may be mixed with Spanish, obviously.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm about to look this up.
Well, so I bring that up because this is not the first time, obviously, she's been in the news and kind of been made fun of. But apparently, she's taken issue with the fact that people were making TikTok videos, like I guess, like impersonating her. And I guess so it says the singer reposted an actor and filmmaker named Jordan Firstman, and I guess he made a video that mimicked meme creators who trivialize artists' careers. And the quote, I guess, is, "Wait, I have an idea. What if we took a moment, like a small clip from a movie or TV show or something like that, and artists really poured their soul into," and they keep adding like as if like they're like making fun of her voice or whatever. And it just took them years to make and was just an uphill battle the entire time. And then when they finally got the financing, it was like they made it. And I guess he was being like very sarcastic. I guess people were making fun of the video maybe, and she got offended by it. And I guess her whole thing is coming off as if she's like mad at the public because people are making fun of people's like the work that they do, or making it seem like it doesn't mean anything. Like, I guess I get that because like when people drop music or they come up with movies, like a lot of people would just be like, yeah, that shit is trash. And like we say it like, you know, like it's not, like it's nothing. Like, yeah, well, I get it. People spent the time, they spent the money. Oh, she's Italian. We're repping Italians hard on this show tonight. I'm with it. Shout out to all the Italians. I love you guys. Great pasta. Pasta's it's perfect. But I know we like kind of go in on people when they drop things and like we don't really, none of us can really understand the work that's put in or, you know, the amount of effort unless you're in the room with those people or you're working on the projects with them. But I also feel like you're one person of a billion people. Like if you put it out there for people to see, like there are gonna be people who don't say positive things about your shit. Like that's kind of like what you said. It's like what you sign up for.
Yeah, that's pretty whack. I don't know how I feel about that. That's like, I mean, I didn't really like her to begin with anyway, but now I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I always get the feeling like she's one of those people that like maybe she's that girl who when like something's happening, like imagine like it's like a high school and like all the kids start fighting in the lunchroom and she's like that girl that stands up and goes, guys, just be cool.
Yeah.
We can all be friends. It's cool. And that's like it's not a bad, obviously, yeah, that you're absolutely 100% right. But like you're saying that to people who are just looking at you like they don't really care. Like, and it's one of those things where like in your position, like are you stepping up for and like saying this on behalf of everybody, or like you one of these people who's upset that people don't like your projects and like now is your time to like make the complaint without making the complaint, if that makes sense? Like you don't want to just come out and be like, oh, I don't like you guys because you didn't like my stuff, but like, you know, do you think like maybe like that's her deal? It's like maybe she feels some type of way because people aren't taking her work serious.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I've never gotten, so here's the thing, like musically, I think she's a good entertainer. But like, here I am talking like her, but like, I don't know. I guess I've just never understood the hype.
Yeah, I'm sure that I've heard her songs because I mean, if you hear the radio, I feel like she's a radio type of person. But I don't know one name. Can't recall that I've ever like seen her perform or do anything. So she's somebody that like is kind of lost on me. Like I don't know who she is, but I assume she must be somewhat like talented. Um, but at this, I'm also kind of like with you. Like I kind of like I don't know. There's been a couple of things that I remember hearing, and I was just like, I mean, yeah, she's I guess cool. Like if you're 16, yeah, you like this stuff, you know. Like her music sounds like it would be like on a Now CD. And so I was like, yeah, that's cool if like you're into that, if you're into the radio. But like I listen to my iPod and like nothing she's talking about really interests me. She also doesn't strike me as the type of person based on the genre she's in. Like is her content like what is her content like? It just doesn't I didn't get the vibe that she was really out there talking about anything that really matters.
No.
Yeah. It's all like commercial, like
It's her, yeah, like anything that has to do with her brand.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's totally fine. Hey, young lady, get your money. You're probably killing it, and you're living it up and doing what you do within your avenue. That's super dope for you. I'm just telling you, as me, as a 33-year-old Black man, I don't know what you do, and nor do I really care. I just think it's weird that you complain as a celebrity that you're tired of people like making funny videos, making fun of you, or making fun of other people. Like people aren't doing it to trivialize your work or dismiss the amount of effort you've put into a project. You released your project, their tastes and their preferences don't line up with your work. Because your work is public, they're making fun of it. That's it. They're making fun of it because they don't like it or because they think it's trash. It probably is nothing more, nothing less because it's the fucking internet. And like in 5 seconds, there will be something else to make fun of. You know, like I think it's not as deep as a lot of people think it is. Like I think they're just like, oh no, like the fans want to hold me down mentally, and like they're trying to enslave me and not give me my props and like, nah, they just think your shit sucks. Like, and they want to crack some jokes because we all need laughs right now. You just happen to be the perfect butt of a joke. Like that's it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think some people are weird. So Steph says she's Sicilian and then put some other word on here that I definitely can't pronounce. So to save and spare myself the embarrassment, I'm not going to pronounce that. But yeah, shout out to all the Sicilians out there. Um, Anybody who's repping. I don't know, man. We fuck with you guys over here on the show. Like I said, Steph's Italian Mafia. Former. Yeah, okay. Uh, Priscilla, do you think, say, if all the Italian mob bosses band together and said we gotta just start taking out everybody, do you think Steph's gonna make sure that they spare us?
Me, I know that for sure. No,
I know. Yeah, you're probably right. But she's probably gonna be like, you know what? Go ahead and take him. Show wasn't that good. Get him out of here.
It's there me for sure.
Definitely saving you, Steph. If you're listening, if it comes down to it and they're wanting to take out a bunch of people, tell them to spare us. Definitely me, and definitely Priscilla. Maybe not James. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let me ask you something. How healthy are you feeling today? And are you feeling healthy because you injected yourself with disinfectant?
I actually just hit my Lysol and I feel much better.
Did you spray the Lysol just directly into your mouth, onto your tongue, so you can savor the Lysol?
I've got an IV drip going in my house.
An IV drip, a Lysol drip.
Straight out the Lysol can.
Yo, I love that I've been seeing these like tweets from like these it'll be like from medical things, like, and it's like legit stuff where they're like reporting like cases of people calling and saying that they've done whatever he has instructed them to do. So they've like tried to use these household products as a way to try to cure themselves or prevent catching coronavirus. I'm so confused because these people are adults, right? And like when you read the labels, it literally tells you like not, try to avoid contact on skin, wash your hands immediately, like don't consume. It says all these things. Like, how have these people made it this long only to then try to prevent coronavirus by injecting themselves with disinfectant? There's no way these are adults. These have to be kids doing this shit, right? Please tell me you heard it was kids. I mean, I don't want it to be kids, but I don't want it to be other adults, because then it makes us all look like fucking idiots.
Who's actually believing this?
Yo, I'm telling you, they're literally reporting cases where people are like, even just the simple fact that someone is calling like a hotline to be like, hey, can I do this to make sure I don't get coronavirus? Even if you don't do it, if you make that phone call, you're an idiot. That's all there is to it. If you have to call and ask another human if you can or cannot inject Lysol into your body, you're an idiot. And there are people who are doing that.
Wow, there's really people out here who exist like that.
Those are like, and I know I don't want to assume they're spinning it and creating the narrative that it is his own supporters, but I know that they're kind of stupid for voting for him, but I hope that most of these people are smart enough to know that you can't inject disinfectant into your body. You just can't do that. That's not a thing. It's not a thing that we as people do. If that was the case, they would have just said, hey, guys, there's a virus coming, but we all know you already have Lysol. Wipe your face with disinfectant cloths, spray the Lysol in your mouth, kind of like a breath spray. Like, we would have been doing that. That's not a thing. It's like the same things like people eating Tide Pods. Why were people doing that? You know, it's detergent, it's chemicals. Why would you do that? So, would you do it for $50,000?
Hell no.
Just want to know what your limits are. 100,000. Spray Lysol on your tongue. For $100,000,
I gotta be around.
Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't spray a little spray on your tongue for 100 racks?
Oh, I thought you were talking about with an IV.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
no,
straight
no,
on my tongue.
no. God, doing an IV? No, that means I'm asking you to die for $100,000. That's not advised. That actually sounds like a terrible deal too. Let's see. So we got people who are injecting disinfectant into their bodies, which is crazy. And while this is happening, so while people are being as stupid as they possibly can be, we also have these things where these articles are popping up about how these billionaires are actually getting richer during the pandemic, which confuses me because we have about 6 million Americans who don't have jobs right now. But somehow Jeff Bezos' pockets are getting fluffier. Can you explain that to me, Priscilla? Do you know anything about this?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I'm asking, have you heard much about how these billionaires are getting richer while we're in this pandemic?
No, I don't know how they're like. I haven't looked into it, but I keep seeing that headline everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm reading this thing where it says while nearly 1 in 6 Americans have lost their jobs since mid-March and 4.4 million have filed for unemployment benefits due to coronavirus pandemic, American billionaires are becoming wealthier by the day. According to a report from the Institute for Policy Studies, American billionaires added a staggering total of $282 billion to their combined wealth between March 18th and April 10th. How's that possible?
I feel like it doesn't. I'm about to.
How do you add? I don't understand that. I don't understand a lot of things, but I really don't understand how they end up adding money when it feels like we took so many L's. Where did 282 billion come from? I mean, obviously, like I could see maybe someone like Jeff Bezos' profits increasing because like people then started ordering like crazy off of Amazon and so on and so forth. But like, what about some of these other people? Like, how are they continuing to like increase their profits when it seems like we're literally supposed to be taking the L right now in order to get built back up? So how are they winning and the rest of us are losing significantly?
Well, Jeff is Amazon, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, Amazon's still kicking it. They're
making for sure
right now. So I can see that.
Yeah, that one I kind of was like, I get that one, but some of these other people, I'm wondering how.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm reading some of this stuff. So they're talking about Elon Musk is somebody who's on this list. Like his money's coming up big. So, and he's being very charitable too. So we're not going to disrespect Elon because he's finding ways to help out. But it says, amidst his charitable efforts, he's also managed to bring in an extra $5 billion since the beginning of the year. Where does all this money come from? How do all these niggas have money? Like billions of dollars. But if that's the case, why can't they reallocate that? Just that $5 billion alone could probably save all the small businesses we have in this country. Why can't some of these people, like, you have an extra $5 billion extra? Why can't you just give that and be like, yo, let's spread this out so all these people can keep their jobs?
I don't get it.
What's that?
I don't get it. That's like $5 to them.
I don't know. And like I said, we're not on this show trying to like, tell somebody how to spend their money. But $5 billion? Bro, that could save so many lives. Like you could put people back in positions to thrive even after this shit is over. Help keep some of these businesses open. Like, you have people that worked their entire lives to open up businesses only to watch them get closed down due to this pandemic. What do you think? What do you think a small piece of $5 billion could do for these people? Some of these people who own these businesses, and you're talking about all the employees that lost their jobs because they worked at places like this. You could be helping them out too. What do you need an extra $5 billion for? This is crazy.
That's what I was gonna say. It's so depressing. Like, wow.
This
There
is
are people who can't even afford
crazy.
to feed their families right
That's what
now.
I'm saying. Says when they're talking about Jeff Bezos' ex-wife Mackenzie, she owns 4% stake in Amazon. She saw an $8.6 billion increase in her net worth as of April 15th. God, I know I can't imagine finding an extra 8.6 billion. I'll tell you, for about 3 seconds, when I noticed that there was that little extra scratch from that janky stimulus check in my account, I was moonwalking a little bit. I was gliding and moonwalking, kind of, hitting a little bit, and that's not even a lot of money. 8.6 billion. Could you imagine? But honestly, I hope some of these people go to sleep at night feeling shitty as hell, being like, damn, I'm looking at my account right now, and I got 8.6 billion. I literally just drove past 100 people who are probably not even going to eat tonight. You billionaires should feel horrible because you're hoarding money. You don't even need that much money. Not to live. What the fuck? What do you do where you need to have funds like that in order to survive? Shit is crazy.
Like, shoot, man.
Shit is crazy. I will say we're going to give a quick little shout, not really a shout out, kind of a shout out. You see one of these Jenner kids, I think it was Kylie, spent $36 million on a new home.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy. There must be a Target right in the middle of that motherfucker with like 36 employees. Just at her beck and call. She want to walk around Target. Yeah. This is crazy, man. So, I mean, there are still people out here thriving, apparently. I have to ask, well, where did we all go wrong in life? Why are we not all billionaires? Do you think it's possible that, like, if America really wanted to, that they could make everybody in the country a millionaire? Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, it's absolutely possible. They're just not going to do it. I mean, we print our money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. $1 million.
I mean, obviously, everybody in the world can't be a millionaire, but here's the thing. A millionaire and a billionaire are very different things.
Yeah, very different.
So, like, I don't feel like I'm entitled to anybody's money. I don't feel like I'm entitled to money that I don't work for.
Yeah.
But there's no job on this planet that you could sit there and put in the hours to make 68, 69 billion, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, show me your time clock.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I hate when people are always like anti-socialism. Like when Bernie was running and stuff, all I kept hearing was, oh, like these people just think they're entitled to the money I worked hard for. And you always hear it out of people's mouths who aren't making over $10 million or $5 million or even $250,000 a year for that matter. Like,
yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Steph says that Kylie donated $1 million to coronavirus relief.
As a write-off.
Okay, I'm glad that you said. That's why I kind of paused. Like, I think it's dope because it probably can go to help, but like some of the places where they donate these funds to are just little corporations that just like cycle the money back to them. Like, and half the time the money don't even really be going to any type of victim relief. It just goes to some little slush fund or some shit like that. They probably win it back at a fundraiser. But like you said, it's like a tax write-off. It's dope. If it really is gone, I'm like I said, I don't know Kylie Jenner personally, so I don't want to disrespect her and say that she's doing some goofy shit just to like make herself look good and then, get all the money back next year or some shit like that. But there's a lot of people that, kind of are in the same type of status as her that do that type of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, good for her, man. You don't get a tax write-off. $1 million is cool, but I don't know, man. If we hear that you spent $36 million on a home, your $1 million donation to coronavirus is kind of like, it's appreciated. you can, like I said, we can't tell anyone how to spend their money, but it's like, damn, maybe only spend 33 million on a house, and like maybe donate a little bit extra. I don't know, man. If you got it, but I don't know. Like I said, we can't. Yeah, and it's like I said, that's the whole thing. I was just thinking is like we say, why not donate? But then when someone does, it's a write off. I get it, but no, your thoughts are appreciated, Steph. But it is very true. There were a lot of people like after Hurricane Katrina who were celebrities that said they gave money, and there were people still down there suffering. And FEMA wasn't cutting the checks, and the Red Cross wasn't cutting the checks, and all these people were saying that they donated to there. And then you found out that a lot of those things that people were doing were scams, and then the people didn't actually get the money. So I'm not questioning Kylie and her willingness to support. I think that's dope. Anybody that helps out, I think that's super dope. When we saw a lot of these NBA guys donate their game checks and money to support their staff members of the teams that they play for. And, you've seen a lot of these businesses who've donated money and and all that type of stuff too. So it is amazing to see, but we can't. I try not to just give blanket respect to everybody because not all of these people do these things with the right intentions. Steph said, I definitely would live broke if I had that money, though. I don't know if you can live broke. If you have the ability to spend $36 million on a home, there's probably some pressure that is applied to you as a rich person to where you probably have to spend your money. Like, I don't know if they let rich people live broke like that.
Because I'm like, here's the thing. There's only so much I want.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
I can think of I'd upgrade my house, probably buy a new house, probably buy a new car, pay off my bills. Like, there's really not much else that I can think of. And I guess the more money you have, the more stupid your requests get, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna need a tiger. Those are on Instagram.
I'm gonna need 19 tigers by Wednesday.
Exactly.
Steph said, "Nah, I'll be at Walmart and Target." I mean, I probably would too, because I like to do low key stuff. Like, where do rich people shop? Like, is there rich people grocery stores that we just don't know about? Or like, are these niggas still at the Safeway shopping? Like, I wouldn't want to go out of my comfort zone. So I probably would still go to the Safeway,
Right. Maybe we're not supposed to know because we're just young, but
yeah, maybe.
I was thinking about that too. Like, where do people shop?
Yeah.
Is there some $500,000 cheese I don't know about?
Steph says at Whole Foods. But we can shop at, like, poor people can shop at Whole Foods, right? That's not rich people shopping, is it? Like, I can go to Whole Foods now. They're not going to kick me out for being broke. Who knows? Shout out to Steph. Metropolitan Market. What is that?
Whoa, that's a new one.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. That must be when you're really fancy. Okay, let me ask you this, because this is crazy. We're gonna get into something. Again, it's another one of these sports topics that's not about sports, but I saw this past weekend where Tom Brady accidentally he was told by one of his new coaches that he could show up to their house to go over like team stuff, to get him prepped for his new role as the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And apparently he just walked in and sat down in the wrong home. Now, what's interesting about this is being from the South, I know a lot of people that they live in neighborhoods where they just leave their doors unlocked. It's not a big deal. But I started to wonder, especially based on the way Tom kind of addressed it, where he kind of just dismissed it like it wasn't a big deal. And I wondered, if Tom Brady was black, would this story have had a happy ending where he walks into a person's house unannounced, has a seat, just makes himself at home, and then the real owner of the home walks in? How do we think that story ends? I feel like it ends with this guy either in handcuffs or maybe even being killed or being involved in a situation that just doesn't go in his favor. I felt like the way Tom kind of like addressed it, he was very dismissive. and like he just kind of treated it like it was no big deal. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I felt like that shit was very irresponsible.
I feel like if Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady, it would have been like, oh, some black guy in somebody's apartment, whatever, house.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. His comments just seemed like almost as if he thought he was like above the law. I think he even like closed it out with saying something like he referred to it, he plays in Tampa now. He called it Tampa Bay. Like as if like now he's like the king of the city. And one of the perks is that he can just walk into people's houses. Now I know he had permission to just walk into someone's home, but he didn't have permission to walk into this person's home. So I feel like he should be counting his blessings and be, being thankful for the fact that he wasn't just shot in the head for being in a stranger's house.
Yeah, I feel like he thinks he's above the law for sure. He's got that whole like, do you know who I am sort of.
Yeah, I mean, but if we're being honest, that's how they're taught to act. Those people. Yeah, it's that was a weird thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't have too much on it. I just thought it was interesting as I was like, fuck, man. Could you imagine if Tom Brady was black? What if I was going to say Wayne Brady, but that's the only black guy I know, and they both had the same last name. But it's like, well, imagine if Tom Brady was Wayne Brady. Even then, I feel like Wayne Brady would have got into some shit just being in somebody's home like that. Yeah, it would have been crazy. But I guess at the same time, shout out to Tom for not getting killed. He's lucky. Yeah, another one of these times where you were lucky, my guy. But I probably wouldn't recommend doing that again, especially not in Florida. Let's see. Priscilla, did you get your stimulus check yet?
Nope.
Well,
I sure have not.
There is a lady who did get hers. She had 4 guys hold her hostage for her stimulus check. Literally held her captive in her home.
For $1,200?
Yeah, let me go to the story. This is pretty crazy. So yeah, this is crazy. So it says we have 4 suspects arrested after breaking into a woman's home and holding her captive for her stimulus check. 4 men in Indiana, of course, have been arrested. Why do I say of course? I probably shouldn't have said that. But at the same time, this just seems like some weirdo stuff. Yeah, for $1,200. So 4 men in Indiana have been arrested after they allegedly broke into a woman's home and held her captive at gunpoint, demanding that she hand over money from her cashed government stimulus check. Lady, you should have done direct deposit. Let me stop shaming the victim. All men have been charged with burglary with a deadly weapon, attempted armed robbery, criminal confinement with a deadly weapon, burglary, and breaking and entering for their participation in this crime. According to Indiana police, all of the men were familiar to the victim and were aware that she had recently received her stimulus check. The suspects broke into her home at around 1:30 a.m. Well, is it breaking in if you use a spare key? These niggas walked in. So they said the suspects broke into her home around 1:30 a.m. using a spare key. Fam, they didn't break in. They walked in the door. They woke the woman up at gunpoint, demanding she give them her money. The suspects searched the house looking for the cash and grew frustrated when they could not find it. That's when things got violent. And Guzman, I guess Guzman is the main guy. So Paul Blankenship, Philip Guzman, Christopher Henderson, and Jacob Bogman. Guzman is the ringleader apparently, and he assaulted the girl. So he probably was the guy who like knew her, or maybe that's like her ex. You think it's an ex, or maybe like an old roommate or something like that.
That says she owed on a debt.
Yeah, I could probably see that.
For sure.
I mean, honestly, that sounds like likely maybe some drug related things or some shit like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's more to that story.
yeah, so it says at like 6 a.m. they eventually left the house, but they took her cell phone so she couldn't contact the police. When the victim was sure that they were gone, she drove herself to the sheriff's department and reported the incident. And I guess all four men were arrested and detained a short time later. And it says three of them are being held on $75,000 bond, while the fourth man is being held without. Yo, these comments are so funny. Yo. I love the first thing I read is it says $300 a person. That ain't shit, obviously. But you know, when you're probably, like I said, we don't want to assume, but when you're probably high on meth, $300 that's literally like winning the freaking lottery. I bet. Let's see. Steph says probably her ex. She did probably promise to let him flip it.
Yeah.
Either way, it's still crazy because imagine if you're in a position where you feel like you got to try to hold somebody up for that stimulus check, you must be really hurting. And if there's four of y'all, like, I'm sorry, but even if I'm broke, like, no one's gonna convince me to be a part of this robbery shit just for $300. Because now look at this shit. Now you're gonna probably have to do time for this because you guys held her up at gunpoint, you assaulted her, and you held her captive. You're not walking away from this with ease. All this for $300? Hell no. Shit ain't even worth it.
Wow. People really broke out here, man.
Yeah, this shit is crazy, man. $1,200. Well, like I said, if you guys get your checks, I hope people aren't out here trying to hold you up. I mean, but it's like the same thing with, like, you know, when we did the story on the lady who like withdrew $10,000 from her account and then got robbed in the parking lot. Like
Right.
that shit was crazy. Like, there's people who are out here just like waiting for people to come up so that they can try to get them. But I think Steph's scenario is more likely. She probably did owe that money, and they probably came for it. She didn't want to pull up, and then she ended up getting smacked around. Hope she's all right though. But hopefully this is a lesson learned. Don't get involved with scumbaggy ass people. And the fact that these people you were dealing with had a key to your spot, knew that you had a check, and then came into your home and then just tried to finesse you out of your money, that's crazy. It's time for you to move to a new state, new area, maybe get some new friends, you know, try to switch things up because this is not a situation you want to be in going forward. Imagine what's going to be like when they get out of jail. You think they're going to try to do something to her? Fuck, hope not. Shit would be crazy. All right, let's see, man. We're a little bit over the first hour of the show. Okay, so Priscilla, I told you earlier, I sent you the story about this 13-year-old kid who was arrested for this investigation of murder. I haven't heard anything new about this, but for those of you who don't know, this story's more local. So we're out in Burien, Washington. Apparently, they said that they had this guy who was shot in the head while he was like walking or something. And they said he was shot by a kid, a 13-year-old. And they found the kid who they think is the shooter. They found him walking around Renton. When I saw this morning, I couldn't believe this. Is like one of the first things I saw. When did I send this to you? Like at 7 o'clock in the morning or some bullshit like that? It's something crazy early. Yeah, this is just craziness, man. Because like 13 years old. And now his whole life is about to be ruined, or her whole life. I don't remember if they specified and said if it was a girl or a boy, excuse me, but 13 years old and you committed a murder, potentially, allegedly, whatever words you want to use. 13 years old, allegedly has committed a murder. Like, this is not what our kids need to be doing during quarantine. Why is a 13-year-old out roaming around with a gun preying on people and then just shot some innocent dude? And I hope that this is not some type of like gang initiation thing, because if that's what this is the hardest part about some of this shit for me. I struggle to deal with the fact that, and I know it's because of what the cycle does and how this little system works, where These are people without real adults to give them real like guidance and direction. All they know is the street life, and they tend to fall in these traps. I totally get it. But it sucks that these people aren't smart enough to, like, some of them aren't smart enough to just be like, dude, it's not worth it. At 13, now you're going to end up spending the rest of your life being a person who is just either in prison for the rest, or you're going to end up phasing out of the juvenile system. And even if you do get a new lease on life, this is still something you have to carry around with you forever. 13 years old, committing a murder. That shit is crazy to me. 13 years old. And it makes you wonder, like, where are the parents at? Like, what is the dad doing? What's the mom doing? And sometimes parents are involved, and there's still just nothing that you can do to protect your kids because they're being preyed on by other adults, and they're being convinced that these are the things that they need to do. This shit is horrifying. 13. Jesus.
Whew, that's bad. That's a lot.
Fam.
His life is
Go ahead.
No, it's just sad. I mean, his life is like done at this point.
Yeah. 13 years old. I mean, I definitely made a ton of mistakes when I was a young teen, but whew, catching a body at 13, and there's so many young kids that go through that. And now they're adults, and it's like, you think when you see them on shows like Scared Straight, and then they're trying to tell other kids how it's not worth it. It's like, you just wish that they actually would have listened when there were people when they were young probably telling them that it wasn't worth it. Because I know that they don't. I know that they hear it. They have to hear it from people, whether it be a teacher, or they probably, and even if they hear it in a negative capacity, you hear it from, authority figures such as police and judges and like, there are people who will literally tell you, you're making bad decisions. This is not the right thing to do. But the problem is, especially with young boys, is that it's like, they want to feel like they know everything. Like, for some reason, kids tend to act like they know everything, which is so confusing. And even me, I look back on myself and I'm like, why was I acting like I knew everything? If you're a kid, you literally don't know shit. And I wish that kids understood that, because then they could avoid so many mistakes. Allow the adults to actually take the lead, man. You'll be all right. But the problem is, like I was saying earlier, some of these kids don't have actual adults guiding the car. They're being driven around in life by other kids and other people who have zero guidance. And so how do we expect them to be self-sufficient adults if they don't have the right people in place to help make that shit happen? What did you say? You were cutting out.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything. It probably somebody just dropped off a package at my house.
Oh, that's what she said. What'd you get? You getting stuff from Target? Is that what you're doing, getting stuff from Target?
No, I am not getting. Actually, I already got my stuff from Target today. Thank you.
What'd you get at Target today? Tell us about your Target run.
What did I get at Target today? I got hand sanitizer.
Oh, you're actually able to find that?
I was in Drive Up, of all things. There was only one left, so I got that. I got a couple things with Comet. I got snacks for my kids. And I got Diet Coke so I can make rum drinks tonight.
Hey, turn up. I actually was able to find a big ass, it's like a pack of 250 wipes. I found that at Target the other day when I went. And they had good toilet paper. So I think one of the shows I was on last week, I said anybody could let me know if they knew where the good toilet paper was, because a lot of the places only have janky ass Cottonelle. And I was surprised when I pulled up to the Target and they actually had the Charmin stuff. So back to feeling like royalty. You know how it goes.
You got a fresh booty.
Hey. Yeah, I mean, Cottonelle they don't be getting the job done, bro. It's too risky. You're always at risk of ripping the shit because their toilet paper is trash. I'm looking at this picture that you just sent me. Is this Joe Biden kissing his daughter? That's probably a random thing to
That's
say
his
on the show.
granddaughter.
Is that like? Are there? I can't really tell. Let me open them on the phone. Is his lips on her lips?
Yeah, they kiss each other on the lips. I just feel like there's an age where that becomes inappropriate.
I'm going to say something that's going to be very inappropriate. And I'm not going to care because we all need to acknowledge that this is the type of stuff that probably is happening or will eventually happen.
Yeah.
She's in college. Not trying to disrespect her. There is a chance that her mouth could end up kissing other guys at school, and her mouth could end up on other things too. It probably is not in his, and I'm talking about Biden, it's not in his best interest, one, to be kissing his granddaughter on the lips, let alone a teenage girl. That's super weird. I know you're going to say, well, she's 19. Yeah, she's still technically 19, so she's a teenager. So he shouldn't be kissing her. But I think it's super weird that you would want to be kissing someone who's probably actively kissing other nasty ass people. Maybe not right now because it's quarantine, but that whole setup just seems very risky. I don't think he should be kissing his granddaughter. And I don't think she should be kissing him. It's disgusting. But isn't this like his deal though? Isn't he kind of like a weirdo like this? Like, bro, some of these it looks like he's like. So if are you looking at it right now? If you look at the bottom one, does it really look like she's kind of like really going in for it? Like,
yeah, like I don't.
Oh, God,
I look to see if any of these are like Photoshop. Like yeah.
I mean, the only one that looks Photoshop is like the biggest picture in the meme where it's their full body one. But even then, that's obviously them kissing each other.
I'm gonna Google some more images because.
You know, I don't know, man. Some people just like to that's just how they greet each other. I mean, Lil Wayne and Baby used to kiss each other on the lips when they would say what's up.
And they're gay as fuck.
Damn. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna like comment, but I'm gonna say this. When I first heard that they used to kiss each other on the lips when they would dap up, I thought that was weird. I can't see a scenario where I dap up one of my homeboys and then go in for the. Nah, it's not. That's just not a thing. That seems weird.
So that image is from the Iowa rally or the Idaho rally. Anyways, it is not photoshopped, and here's the like more high def version that I'm about to send you.
So let me ask you this: do you think in an effort to get votes or voters from that area, maybe they just kissed each other because maybe that's like how the demographic over there is operating?
I hope not.
God, could you imagine that? Hey,
she looks so creeped out.
Yeah, but she also kind of looks like she's enjoying it. And they're making eye contact too. Oh, you know what this looks like? Do you watch The Office a lot?
Yeah.
You remember when Michael kissed Oscar?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that shit looks like.
Yeah.
It literally looks like when, oh my God, this is crazy.
And my family's Spanish, so we kiss everybody, and we don't be kissing our family on the lips like that. It's always a cheek.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a lot of places that are like that, a little quick kiss on the cheek. But like, see, in the one photo you sent, the way she's standing next to him, it looked like they're dating. Are you sure that's his granddaughter? And maybe they didn't just name her that because maybe that's like his little side piece. This is actually his blood granddaughter.
Yeah.
Where are her parents at? Bro, I have so many questions. This is so weird. So weird. Why are there multiple pictures of this dude kissing his granddaughter on the lips at rallies? I mean, Okay, so I gotta go into a rant. Y'all have to be for real. Y'all can't get upset when we make fun of y'all and say white people stuff, because this is this kind of stuff, man.
This is white people stuff.
This is that kind of stuff. And like, listen, I understand. Sometimes we say white people don't have culture, but this is a part of it. Unseasoned food, raisins and potato salad, kissing each other on the lips, being scared of black people, jumping out of airplanes. That's y'all's culture. And I know a lot of people do a lot of those things, but y'all primarily do those things. This is weird,
no, I'm
man.
sending you pictures right now. This shit is weird. All you have to do is Google Biden creepy pictures, and it all comes up.
And this pops up when you type that in? Damn, that's foul. Listen, do you think there's a chance that he's going to be our president in the fall?
No, absolutely not.
Is it Trump by a landslide?
Yeah, I'm going with what that letter said. And outside of that letter, Biden, like...
That letter was legit.
I don't know. I don't like Trump either.
Oh, God, no.
So I just don't think Biden is going to win against Trump. I think Bernie could have, but I don't think Biden will at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I feel like some Democrats too hate Biden so much that like I've heard like, oh, well, I'm voting Republican this year.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, but you're going to have Trump in office again?
So I will say for me that the one thing that I kind of don't like about myself is that I still don't know a ton about this stuff, but it's interesting to hear because Biden, he was our vice president. What I always heard while Obama was in office, that people like really liked him. He was like a good dude. And then I felt like I started to hear more bad things than good things as soon as that presidency was over. And then all of a sudden, like I always heard that he was a creep and that, he's not fit for the job and that he's actually more of a scumbag than what people realize. So this is very interesting because it seemed like years ago, everybody loved him, but now they don't love him, I guess. Sending me more images. Why does he have to touch everybody?
That's what I'm saying.
Yo, he has his hand wrapped around this little girl's waist while she...
Uh-huh.
What the hell? Bro. There's not a whole lot that really needs to be said. The guy, he's a creep. I don't know. The pictures say it all. I mean, and I'm just saying that based on what I know from, working in childcare and going through all these trainings and knowing kind of like the rules and like kind of how you should operate in the space with kids. Like having your hand around their waist or like resting on their stomach, like that's weird to me. And it's him as a really old man with these really young girls. It's weird. Like I'll tell you, I reported a person that I worked with years ago at a job that I had because every single day after school when we would go in to start our program, he was always being hella close with these little kindergarten and first grade girls. It was the same 3 girls every single day. I watched him like a freaking hawk for a week, and I documented every move that he made. Everything he did to me was weirdo shit. And then I turned his ass in. You know why I didn't feel bad? Because I was looking out for the safety of those kids. Because he was too damn close every single day. And you know what? I didn't even feel bad when they came back and told me that his mom was a board member and was donating money to the place. I'm like, so that don't mean her son can't be a weirdo? And he kind of was. And I didn't feel bad because you know what? Even though you work there or whatever it is, like you think you're probably doing your job, there's 150 kids in the program. You're only interacting with these 2 or 3 little ass girls. Like, bro, it's weird. And you're all close. You don't need to be that close. It's weird because you can see it, man. Like, I hate knowing that I've seen that shit because you know how kids are. Kids are very intuitive. If they like you, they will run to you. But I would see him seek these girls out, go purposely sit by them, ask other kids to move away from them so he could have their space. Like, my nigga, he was grooming these girls. This shit was crazy. This is when I look at these pictures you sent me, those are some of the things that they tell you to watch out for.
Yeah.
And his name is on that letter.
It sure is. I mean, they called Bernie dropping out. They called the fact that Biden was going to run in his place, and that eventually, like, will come November, that Trump's going to win again.
Gosh. Battle of the molesters for presidency.
Right.
Fuck, man. You know, this was going to be the year that I actually voted too. I would say in the past, I have not. When I was 18, the first time I went to vote, I got discriminated against, and I ended up not voting. And this was a real deal, not bullshitting. Shout out to my man, Sam Coon, one of my homeboys from back home. His dad literally pulled up to the voting place to like raise hell on these people because they wouldn't let me vote. It's crazy. Yeah. But ever since then, every time it pops up, I don't normally vote. Like, I think most people look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're black. You voted for Obama, didn't you?" I've actually had people say that to me too. "Oh, you must have voted for Obama because you're black." I'm like, "Nah, I didn't vote for anybody. I don't even know who he ran against at that time. Probably some bum. Obviously, it doesn't matter because those people didn't win, But Obama pulled it out. He was there. Well, how many years? He was there for 8 years, right? He did full 8, 2 terms. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It'll be crazy if I didn't think 45 was going to last this long. And I know this has not been a cakewalk, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like these last 3 years probably could have been way worse than what they were. Am I crazy to say that? Probably.
A little bit.
I mean, it's really bad. But like, look at what once we make it through this, you're gonna be like, look at what we've survived. Like, and we're also being finessed. That's clear, right? Like, we know that there are people who are better candidates and more qualified for the job, but they're not being provided those opportunities. So we know that we're being finessed. I think we have to just make peace with that. And then you have to look at it as glass half full rather than half empty. Like, what are you going to do when the system's rigged and we know it? I mean, you and I literally talk about this like 15 times a week, how we're referencing a letter that we read months and months ago. You probably way longer than before you read it to me and told me about it. But we're literally like, you can look at it. It's like a checklist. Like, oh, it's going to be this, and then it's going to be that. And then, Bernie's going to run. He's going to be one of the front runners. And then psych, he's going to quit. And then it's going to be Biden. But then that letter said that he's going to get put in that position. And then there's going to be a sex scandal. And then didn't he literally have one like a week after Bernie dropped out and then he became the front runner? Then all of a sudden there were all these like misconduct allegations popping up again. Like, it's literally like looking at a checklist. So knowing that, and knowing that we're in this space where it talked about the program with the stimulus checks and how this is going to make Buddy look like a hero, and then everyone's going to like want to vote for him. I'm already seeing all these things about like, hey, get ready to vote and remember who helped you out in a bad time. And it's like all this type of shit. Like, knowing that it seems like the system is kind of rigged, I'm like, if I don't vote, is it really that big of a deal at this point? And I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I'm foul if I don't vote? Like, am I a part of the problem, or am I cool for just kind of being neutral?
Here's the thing. I feel like at this point, you're not a part of the problem. I feel like maybe 10 years ago, the people who sat around their asses and wanted to complain about politics and then not vote were kind of like, okay, you're just a hypocrite. As far as the situation now, though, as in 2020, no, I don't think you're crazy because I probably won't vote either. And yeah, that is technically a part of the problem. I just don't think your vote really matters in the end anyway.
Yeah. And do you feel like it's appropriate to still vote even if the people who are the candidates are like neither of them are people that you would want to pick? Do you think like we as people should still vote for somebody? Because that's like my other thing is like, why should it matter if I wasn't planning to pick either of the people that are the candidates? You know, what would be the point?
Well, yeah, I don't, for me, like on a bigger scale, people are probably not going to like this. Again, I always have unpopular opinions. I believe that whoever is president is answering to a different agenda and like a higher up. So I really don't think my vote counts. So to be honest with you, I'm not like a big voter to begin with.
Yeah.
I know people have given me flack about it, but
yeah, I mean, I've been hearing it for years. I don't
think whatever I tally in, they're going to make it appear to be who they want to win in the end.
Yeah.
So there's no point in me going out of my way to go vote when that's what I truly believe.
Yeah. No, and I think that's totally fine. I think people should do their own thing and live their lives the way that they want to. And I think that it also includes voting. I don't believe in shaming people because in the same way that they shame me for not voting, I could be like, well, I mean, I could shame you for voting, you know, because even if you didn't vote for this guy, you voted for someone else. Like I could make up some reason to say you're encouraging competition and they have two terrible people and you should have known that because you voted for this person that they were going to make it so the other person won. Because I've always felt like the stuff was rigged. But I feel like I always hear like bullshit ass little arguments like that. And so I'm kind of eager to do my own this year because I know people are going to give me a hard time because I'm thinking that I may not vote either. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that like I don't really have any interest in voting for people who I don't feel like they can, either of these guys can go more than like a week or two without like some bullshit coming out about them or them like screwing something up. Like now I was hearing the other day, I was hearing people talk about how, and there are like some kind of prominent people who are saying that they think Joe Biden might have dementia. Like you got my man up there and he's about to represent us and he has dementia. Like, I mean, no shade at him because that's just a part of life and that sucks. But like, if that is the case, like, are we sure we want him to lead the charge for this party? And he literally may not be in the right frame of mind for that. Like, that's crazy to me. But at the same time, that's who they want up there. So even if that is true, that's going to be something that they either hide or they're going to try to spin it off and they're going to just try to like get him all the help that he needs so that way he can keep up appearances for as long as humanly possible. But like even then, like, so do you care about the charade and the presentation or do you actually care about the work? If we care about the work, why not just give the position and job to somebody who can manage it? Like, you know how sports have a commissioner? Why do we not have that for a presidency? Let the parties do what they do. Those are their separate conferences. And every governor is similar to an owner. And then you just have a commissioner. And it's not somebody who has a vested interest one way or another. They need to just be someone who is there to make sure that all sides of the league benefit. I do not understand how we structure sports like that, but don't structure the government like that. But that is also coming from somebody who knows nothing about the government. So there's probably a whole reason why they do not do that. But I feel like if sports are successful with this whole commissioner, players union, owners, you know, whatever they want to call it, and then like trickling it down from there, I feel like if there's success, maybe that's an option that needs to be looked at. Because Buddy that we picked up these last few years, he screwed all this shit up. Or it was screwed up before he got there and he just made it worse. I don't fucking know.
So I don't want to like change topics, but have you heard what's going on in Korea? Did you get any?
So that was gonna be my next thing. Is Buddy dead or is he not? Like, because the thing I sent you, I was seeing it all day yesterday. It was saying that he ended up dying from a botched heart surgery. But then I was seeing stuff this morning that was saying that maybe that's not true. And I saw something that was like early this morning where it said that China had sent doctors out there to evaluate his condition or something like that.
So I, at about 11 o'clock today, looked it up. And what happened is that apparently he had a botched heart surgery and was now in a vegetative state. And a couple of hours ago, I looked and it said that there may have been word that he passed away today.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, I did see late last night. I saw the vegetable thing, vegetative state. Sorry, let me give it proper respect. But yeah, I did hear that. But now it's like, who knows what is true? Is this like Weekend at Bernie's? Is Buddy dead or is he not? I don't know. So if he is, what does that mean for our country? I know him and what's his name are like good buddies and shit like that, but do you think this is something to where like is his I heard his sister takes over or his wife or something? Is she worse than him or like what happened? We all about to blow up? Is that what's about to happen?
I don't know. His sister looks evil.
Yo, she does. I seen somewhere where someone said she looked like the girl from Rush Hour. Like, I think Rush Hour 3? That girl was a little villain. She was kicking everybody's ass. That shit was lit though. It was a good movie. Shout out to Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, always putting out good projects. But yeah, this is kind of crazy. Flat Top Kim. That's what I always called him because he always had his hair slicked back, but it was like a flat top. So Flat Top Kim might have just passed away and from a botched heart surgery. Bye, nigga. You're a scumbag person. I don't feel no type of way. I mean, obviously we don't, that kind of sucks because you never want to see anybody end up having to fade away when they're trying to get something fixed. But at the same time, it's like, maybe shout out to the doctor for not doing his job in that moment and maybe, handling some business that we needed handled all this time. I don't know. Is that wrong of me to say? I'm not promoting.
Do you think the doctor is going to be investigated?
I mean, no, he's not going to be investigated. He's probably already dead. He or she is dead. That person's dead. That's all there. They probably shot that person in the room as soon as Flat Top went into, the coma or whatever. As soon as he flatlined, they probably killed that doctor, I bet. Yeah, I can't imagine that he's being investigated. He or she, whoever that is. Yeah, I don't really know if I feel any type of way. As soon as I heard that Buddy just was holding on to the detonator of this nuclear weapons, I'm like, yo, man, like if something happened to him, we ain't gonna be sad about that because he's out here trying to do the wrong thing. And I mean, I'm not even necessarily worried about how he would potentially treat us, but you see kind of how he treats his own people. Like he's a scumbag. I'll be feeling no type of way.
That's crazy. I'll be interested to see where that goes.
Yeah, I want to know what his sister's going to be like. But I will say this. I hope that this doesn't turn out to be something to where they're like, dun dun dun, breaking news, like Flat Top's murder orchestrated by United States, like something crazy like that's gonna happen, and then like it's gonna end up being another thing to where our population goes into fear because then they're gonna come out there and be like, now his sister wants revenge and is planning to blow up America, or like how those little news things pop up and then people freak out. And it's like, man, we already have too much to worry about. That is literally the last thing we need is to hear some crazy ass story about how now Korea is like on our asses because Flat Top got killed. Like,
right?
Yeah, we don't need that, man. This life is crazy in this first quarter of 2020.
Crazy is not even a word. I'm like,
it's honestly, it's unreal. Some of this shit just doesn't feel or even seem real. I mean, you look at today. Today's April 26th. It's only still April, but it's also already the 26th of April. And look what we've already had to endure. I mean, honestly, I know it hasn't been that long, but it feels like we've been like on this lockdown shit for like a year. It's only been a month and like a couple of weeks. It's not even very long. Feels like it's been forever because you just like it's just like this every day. And then now, you know what I have been surprised about? Our shows last week, we had stories every single day because now there's actually stuff happening. But you think for like 3 weeks prior to that, we barely had anything to talk about because all it was about this freaking virus. But now, now new stuff is happening, but it's all crazy shit. Like this is one of these things that's very crazy. So kind of same as you were saying, like I'm interested to see how this plays out. Botched heart surgery. Gosh. I wonder what was wrong with his heart. All right. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that constant stress.
Yeah, probably. All right, so we got about 5 minutes, and then we're going to close out. So I want to talk about this last thing because when I introed the show, I talked about how we have a Michigan state lawmaker who apologized for wearing an apparent Confederate flag face mask. And I want to go through a couple things because I know some people, they probably think, oh, here's a black guy. He's about to go in some crazy rant about this flag. No, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm from the South where all these people claim that this flag represents Southern heritage, blah, 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 bullshit, fuck you and fuck your flag. That's all there is to it. The flag is stupid. If you try to say that's why you have it, you're fucking stupid. You're literally up here between your freaking eyes. You're fucking stupid. That's all I'm going to say about that and that flag. This is me making fun of him because he gave us your typical average, horribly whitewashed apology. And I love these things. This is a show where I like to highlight when white people give fake apologies, when they forget that they're supposed to cover up the fact that they're racist and they let that shit show. They try to pretend like they're not, but they know what they're doing. Because you got to remember, he has to put the mask on his face physically. So keep that in mind when I read this. So he put, and this is just a tweet, one of two. I don't think the second one's on there. I'm sorry for my choice of pattern on the face mask that I wore yesterday on the Senate floor. I did not intend to offend anyone. However, I realized that I did, and for that, I am sorry. And here's where it gets good. In typical fashion, this is what they do. Those who know me best know that I do not support the things this pattern represents. Now, I'm not a craft person, but I know that if you want to, you can go to like Joann's or Michael's. They have online order and delivery. You can find multiple types of patterns. You can go on 10 million websites, use Pinterest boards. You can find all types of patterns to make yourself a face mask. Somebody made him this specific one, and he picked it out and he put it on and he wore it on the Senate floor. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's not sorry for doing this. He knows exactly what it represents. He's making his feelings clear. And I don't care what you think, but you know that if you wear that fucking thing on your face and it has that flag on it, or if you're somebody who has that little flag hanging off your car, or you have a sticker, or you wear a belt buckle, you wear all these things, come on, man. You know what the deal is, and you know what people are going to assume about you. I feel like a man in his position, probably not ideal for him to wear that shit. Come on. Fake ass apology, miss me with all that.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed either.
I mean, and I hate to say it, but he's a big old white guy. Like, come on. I wish at this point they honestly would just own it. Be like, yeah, I wore it. And you don't like it? Fuck it. Like, I think I would have more respect for that than them being like, look, I'm sorry. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm not racist. And I don't support racism. And I don't condone those things. I I didn't realize, and I didn't realize when I put the mask on my face that it was the Confederate flag, even though I told the girl to make me a Confederate flag mask. I just didn't know. I didn't know. Like, that's how they act. Like, come on, man. Just own that shit. Just be like, yeah, I wore it. And none of you gonna do a fucking thing about it. I'll be like, you know what? You're probably right, because I'm not close to you. So I personally know you're right. I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm gonna go on here and we're gonna complain about you and say how stupid you look. That's literally the only thing that can happen. Because do you think that any of his colleagues are going to get mad enough to the point where they would want to vote him out of his position for this? No. And maybe it doesn't warrant that. But a person who is representing a mass of people, and this is how he thinks, this is what he believes in. And you have to connect those dots because, like I said, he's the one who puts it on his face. He knows exactly what he's doing in those moments. He's making the conscious effort. So that's pretty much how we close out our show, making fun of a fat old white guy who's racist and trying to say he's not racist. I don't know. Priscilla, what do you think? You think he's racist? Probably.
Probably. Absolutely. In Congress.
It's funny looking at this picture of him sitting on his phone, and he's looking at his phone while he's wearing his mask. And he just looks like he's chilling. You know, like, this isn't a scenario where, like, there's 3 masks on the counter right by your keys and your wallet, and you were late for work, and then you just grabbed, you know, like, that didn't happen to you, you know? Because you know what's crazy? He also has the option to not wear it. And I know some places are saying that you have to wear the mask, but he could not wear it, and I'm sure they could find him a better substitute, because you also could wear like a bandana. You could have got a bandana of your favorite sports team or something like that. He could have done a million other things, and he chose to wear this shit. This shit is funny. So funny. But I don't think he's as bad as the girl who made the TikTok video with her boyfriend being racist and then came out.
Oh, that shit was.
Yo. Her apology was so funny because her apology is basically her kind of halfway saying sorry, but then trying to be like, well, don't blame me, blame my boyfriend. And, you know, you got, come on, guys, be nice to me now. I didn't mean it. And you guys are ruining my opportunity to go to college. And, you know, don't threaten me. That's not very nice. Come on, guys. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Like, I love how she turned it into where, like, she was the victim. I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
You fucked up on a video. I mean, yes, I'm not dismissing it. You're still a cornball, but like, it happens. But like, you going on there and like kind of trying to spin it to where it like looks like it's somebody else's fault other than your own, that shit is weak to me. So just another example how corny some of these people are. So, and I honestly, to all of the people, all my white friends who hate this shit just as much as I do, I'm sorry for you guys, because there are people like this who make you look bad on a daily basis. It's awful. Well, Priscilla, do you have any final thoughts about anything?
I think we covered it. So I'm low-key over here listening to my neighbors get stoned in their backyard.
Oh my gosh. Hey, that's probably the best thing right now. Get stoned, relax, and chill, and just enjoy
Shout out
shit.
to you. Now I can do that.
Hey, you know what, man? I might send you some more stuff this week, man. I got you covered. They got crazy deals right now. So I might just end up stocking up. I'll send you some stuff.
Hey. That's my birthday every week.
Nah, fam, your birthday was when your birthday was. That time has passed.
Right? Like, I don't know what day, but it was in the past.
No, you ain't lying. You know, I don't think I'm having a birthday this year.
I told you.
I mean, I think by August, maybe some of this stuff will be cleared up. But like now I can, you know, if people say, you want to do something for your birthday, I can be like, nah, man, you know how this coronavirus is working out, man. I'm not even celebrating birthdays this year. I'll just blame it on that. Because people try to get me to do stuff every year for my birthday. I'm not really with it. But I don't know, man. Maybe this year is the year that I just go sit at a buffet right when it opens and just stuff my face until the seams burst. I like that plan. So I'm going to get real nasty for my birthday, and not in a sexual way, just mainly with food. I'm going to eat my weight in food. That's what I'm going to do. Priscilla, what are your plans this week? You got any big plans? What are you doing? Tell the people what you're doing this week.
I think I might paint my living room.
Okay, what color are you painting? Are you going to paint a mural? Paint a mural
on my
face.
I'm ordering a new area rug, so my living room's going to be like cream and black, and I'm thinking about doing a black accent wall.
Can you tell us why you're ordering a new area rug?
So my son is like in the potty training stage.
Hold on, real quick. You don't have to tell this story if you don't want to.
Oh no, I don't mind.
Okay.
So I have a cream and like navy colored cream rug, but it's mostly cream.
It is now.
And my daughter, when I was potty training her, I just let her, go butt naked around the house. And eventually she just learned to use the toilet. This technique is not working with my son. So I'm in the living room sitting on the couch. My daughter's upstairs doing homework. And it's just quiet. So I'm enjoying my 10 minutes of quiet.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? Let me check because this is too quiet.
Yo.
So I went into my living room and not only had my son pooped on my floor, pooped on the area rug, and then accidentally stepped in it and was running because he likes to run around in circles. So he's with a dinosaur covered in poop, running around in circles with his poopy feet all over my cream rug. And at that point, I was just like, you know what? We're just about to roll this up and throw it in the trash.
Yo, couldn't even salvage the rug. And with that, that's how we close out on Track Talk Radio. I got to turn the station off. Stay tuned for another minute or two on the YouTube thing, or we might be done, but I got to at least close the radio out. If you joined via Track Talk Radio, I hope that you stayed to hear that story about Priscilla's son. Shout out to this young fella. He's a boss, but that is crazy, man. We'll see you guys on Tuesday on Track Talk Radio. So I know when you told me this, I was like, that's crazy. But Buddy was running around like, so you had footprints, little shit prints on the.
There is no sitting still with my son. Like there's something about like constantly having to move. Like he just always has to move. Yeah. So like he was just walking in circles all over. He does this thing where he'll like make his dinosaurs walk,
Yeah.
But he was doing it in air. And I was like, he's just running around my carpet, playing with his dinosaur, giving no fucks.
Wow. Well, this is going to be a funny story to tell him when he gets older.
Right? Like poop down his leg, like in between his toes. Like when I tell you I took him outside and I hosed him with a hose.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. Go have you some cute.
You know what? Listen, I make it very clear that I'm a man who is eager to be a father, but that might be the story that makes me just reconsider the whole thing. Cause I don't know if mentally if I can deal with that. Like, cause that's some shit you can't unsee. Pun intended. Yeah, I don't know. Shout out to you for being basically a Wonder Woman. You're able to. I don't know how y'all deal with it. That's pretty dope. Shout out to Steph for being in the chat. Thank you for joining. All those who enjoyed the show, you watch this on YouTube. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Do all the things. Follow my social media. Leave funny jokes in the comment section. Comment on my pictures. Talk about my hairline. I don't know. Do something, man. Let's interact. Let's argue. Let's debate. Let's prop each other up. Let's, exchange pleasantries, check on each other's mental health, man. We literally don't have anything else to do. So there is no reason why we shouldn't interact on a daily basis. Let's make it happen. But Priscilla, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't. I think we ended it nicely with the food story.
Yo, you know what? I was planning to eat after this, but I think I'm going to just go to bed. Time to go to sleep, man. On that note, shout out to your kiddos, though. I hope you guys have a good week. If you have more stories like this, hey, feel free to share them on the show.
All right.
All right, so we'll see you later. Thanks for joining, and all of those who were watching. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. The stream is over.